I've been always in the field, working in the countries where we exist for to make a change in the lives of children affected by conflicts.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to We Are Duffree's Perspectives.
We have a lot of responsibility. We reach thousands and millions of people through the projects that we're doing.
We are a creative agency maximizing the positive impact on businesses, society, and our planet.
So if you currently look at all communication marketing campaigns, it's not always representing society.
Radical change needs to happen now. Otherwise, brands and companies are going to get left behind.
You know, if you're a marketing manager, if you're in a senior position, you're an opportunity maker. So how can you redistribute those opportunities in an interesting way?
Every week, founder Mitchell talks to visionaries and changemakers who are shaking up the status quo.
We create content for every living soul on this planet.
Get ready to be launched into a new perspective.
What is your greatest achievement?
Yet to come.
Something you wish you did more of.
Close the laptop.
Something you wish you did less of.
Biting my nails.
Uganda or the Netherlands?
Uganda.
Yeah?
No, for sure.
Ernst, welcome.
Dankjewel. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. You work for War Child.
Yes.
And you've got so many fascinating stories, I know, because I've been following you for quite a while. But to start off with, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah. Well, thanks for following me. I've been with War Child for 18 years. I was 21 when I started.
Wow.
When I got a contract with War Child. And I've been in the countries where War Child is operating with children affected by conflict and war for the first 14 years. And came back to the Netherlands. I'm born in the Netherlands about 4 or 5 years ago. And still with War Child, yeah.
Wow, that's such a long journey. How did you start at War Child at such a young age?
Yeah, that started actually when I was 18, when I went to Uganda for the first time out of Europe for me. It was an exchange program. Got an opportunity to be for 1 week in Uganda. And I got fascinated by one project that I visited there with street kids. It really got my attention that those kids are super strong, although they have gone through so many difficult things. And I was already studying social studies. And I thought, okay, when I come back from Uganda, I'm going to make it a passion or a goal to do work with children that are disadvantaged, street children or children around the world. Started my own small foundation Enjoy, with 2 friends. Very naive, very young and trying to save the world. You know how those kind of things go. It was good. It was good because I was able to, after that visit in Africa, in Uganda, to put my passion into practice. Started to raise funds, started to think about what can we do with street kids. And I am born in a village in the Netherlands. I'm not the best learner. I'm not the best at school cognitively. But I always say I got my self-esteem and a bit of dignity and became a bit of a stronger person in the football pitch. Because there I was able to show off my skills, hardworking, a bit a tough guy in the field. And people appreciated me for that. And that helped me through the time that I wasn't the best at school. And I thought, if you allow children to play, and maybe they're not good at school or they don't get chances somewhere else, but if they can play and they find out what they like to do, where their passion is, to make friends in the pitch or become a captain of a team, it really makes them stronger. And I made it my goal after I came back from Uganda to focus my entire study on finding out if sports and play really changes social behavior of children. So I went back to Uganda, stayed there for a couple of months, lived with the street children for a while to see how they're behaving, what they do. And I started to observe children that are doing sports and children that are not doing sports. And what does that do out of the sports field with their social behavior? And I saw a tremendous difference. And that for me, I mean, I can't publish that study. It was very practical, very me observing and seeing a change. But that for me was concrete example and like the evidence for me that sports makes a change in children's lives. I wrote about that, got in touch with a psychologist called Pim Scholte. He was linked to War Child, and he kind of did find me funny somehow because I was 20 or 19 by then, and he was like, if you are doing this, and it's not scientifically proven what you're doing, but just very interesting what you're doing, you should talk to War Child. So when I came back from living with the street kids in Uganda to the Netherlands, I was asked here at the Single in Amsterdam for a job interview or an getting to know each other visit. And they kind of liked what I was doing and how I looked at things. And I made an impression, I think, and they gave me the opportunity to join the organization.
Wow. What does your current role entail?
I've been always in the field, working in the countries where we exist for to make a change in the lives of children affected by conflict. Moved to the Netherlands in 2015-16. The reason is, and I always like to say that, is I met my wife, Lydia. She's from Uganda. We are blessed with 2 kids. When you grow up in a country where War Child works, you grow and you raise your children in a compound with security guards. And we are lucky that we can also live in the Netherlands. So we moved here for them to see how it is to live in a free country, in a safe country. That was the same time as the refugee influx in Europe. How do you say that? Got a lot of attention. It's not that refugees have never come, but it got a lot of attention. Definitely because of the picture of the little boy, the 2-year-old Alan in the red sweater. Everyone knows that dad on the beach. That time I was just in the Netherlands, and with our current director of War Child, we said this is ridiculous. We need to be there for children in the Netherlands as well. The children that are coming from war zones, from conflict countries, are here to a safe place, but they don't feel safe at all. And there was very little attention for children to overcome what happens to them in war, to be able to deal with all the traumas. And there's a lot of attention for children in terms of education, in terms of they get a place to stay, a bed to sleep in. But the social, emotional part, dealing with that, getting their childhood back, getting their anger away, or the tension or the scared, the feeling of being scared, is super important. Because you can give a child a bed. This is often how I explain it. You can give a child a bed to sleep in, but if you are still awake every night because of nightmares, you can't grow up as a healthy human being. No. So I set up that program that's called Team Up. It's a very interesting collaboration with UNICEF and Save the Children and War Child in the Netherlands, in all the refugee centers. It's also going to other countries now, Greece, Italy. And when that was on a peak, the director said, can you please do something else? Can you become the marketing director? And that was really funny. It made me laugh because I'm an aid worker. I'm a field worker. I've always been. And now I'm the marketing director of War Child.
Are there any stories from your time working in the field that you found particularly fulfilling?
Yeah, so many. There are very many. But there's one that I share often when people ask, can you share a story? Because it's someone very close to my heart. With him, he's called Alex. I'm still in touch. That doesn't happen a lot because I worked with thousands of children all over the world. And you don't stay in touch with the children. It's actually something that's very rare. Yeah. But Alex, I'm still in touch with, and he's born in northern Uganda. And Alex is, for me, the example of why we exist and why I'm still with War Child. He was really, I would say, desperate when he escaped the bush. He was abducted by the Lord's Resistance Army in northern Uganda. There's no child that really voluntarily joins an army. It's often by forcing them to kill their parents or give them drugs, and then, or they have no other way out than just joining a rebel group. He was also forced in it, abducted, and I found him when he had just escaped, and we worked with him. It's good to mention, it's often the real people doing the work are the local people, the Ugandan people. So I was working with him, with Alex and my Ugandan colleagues of War Child, and I remember sitting with him somewhere, and he didn't have any future hopes, really like giving up. Because if you have been child saw that you have been abducted, the whole community looks down on you. And he needed self-esteem. So we asked him, what is it that you did before all this happened to you? And it was very simple. He said, I did sports. And it sounds super simple, but we started to do sports with him. And we set up a football team with him. And he became the captain of the football team. And slowly by slowly, because our programs are very long and not just football, but slowly by slowly, he got a little bit of hope. He got a team of people that were actually nice to him.
Yeah.
And he is now the leader of a community. He's the head of a library and an ICT center in the refugee camp. That's now a normal settlement. Alex is like 2 meters tall. He has a family. He earns a little bit of money and he got his act together. And it's not because I did that, but he got at the right time, something to hold on to. And he grabbed it with 2 hands.
Yeah.
And he was able to slowly get out of this feeling like a victim, feeling worth nothing, to becoming a big person in this village now. Those stories are, for me, the reason why I'm still with War Child. I mean, if you can see that by a little bit of support, of empowering is a big word, or giving a bit of self-esteem, trying to find that healthy part of a child and not that part that all went wrong, and then see them grow. And they don't have to become professors and directors and doctors, but getting their act together, being able to have a stable life. We do that already for 25 years. And it is not just throwing a ball or let's play some soccer. It's very defined. And nowadays our programs are even really evidence-based and researched. That's super cool. That's something a lot of people don't even know, but we have research department in the organization. That's quite unique. A lot of organizations don't have that. To really get the real evidence that what we do changes the well-being of children. Those research trajectories sometimes take 5 years. But we now have the first evidence of making that change in lives of children in war. And that's super interesting as well.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. There's a lot of emotional depth to the work you oversee. How do you make sure you hit the right note?
Yeah, the right stories, the right tone. I find that one of the most fascinating things in the job that I have now, after working with the children, hearing the stories, being in the programs in the field, and now being the marketing guy with the marketing team. We are known as an organization in the Netherlands. We are quite well known in the Netherlands for a strong brand. And also a brand where we put children in their strength. You won't see children crying on photos or in videos. You won't see the big bellies or the fly on the ice. Yeah. And that is because...
Terrible images, by the way.
Yeah, it's a choice. I also don't like it. I don't shy away from saying that. I think it's not the way to go.
No, absolutely not. We have to showcase hope.
Unfortunately, in marketing, I know that now after doing marketing. It still works, those images. I wish they wouldn't. I think it will eventually not work anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I'm happy that we keep strong on putting children in their strength on the photo, because I think that will last longer. That is also what the children deserve, because they are no hopeless pieces of human beings. That's absolutely not true. They are very... I've said it with a bit of support, but definitely with their own abilities and helping them a bit with that, they're able to grow up as healthy human beings. Yeah. So we don't put emotional pictures. We might put some images that give a sense of urgency. Yeah. There's always a thin line there. We always look for that because people need to feel it. They need to feel like, let me support that organization, but not children.
But you can feel it through the eyes of the victims and the children you're showcasing, rather than basically abusing them or the situation they're in to raise money for something.
And there's a lot of debate about it in the sector. How you should do it and what you can't do and what you should do. One thing I'm proud of, and it's also good to be proud of something, is that we don't put children as victims in our communication. Never have done, never will do.
This was exactly one of the reasons I really wanted to talk to you, because it's something we really stand and believe in. And the bad side of the NGO world in showcasing the victims in a bad way, it's something we really think should go.
Yes, it needs to change, but also allow a little bit of time for that change. Also for organizations that do it the way we just discussed it.
So War Child is about making a tangible, positive impact in the lives of children. What project are you working on now or in the future to continue this impact?
This is a very nice time to talk about the future of War Child, because we have just the past years invested a lot in what I mentioned, the research part of War Child. So yes, the ambassadors are sharing stories and they say, look at Alex, look at those children, they're doing better. But the evidence is super important. So the team, War Child, decided to have research in the organization linked to King's College London, the UvA here in Amsterdam, to make sure that we can really say it works. It's not just Alex, it works. If you implement and do the programs and methodologies that War Child developed in the right way, then it's a guarantee that it will have this impact on children. Now we have that evidence. The future is, and this is super interesting, that War Child is not going to expand by putting more War Child flags and offices all over the world.
Yeah.
But we're making our programs, our methodologies, interventions, I don't like the words, but what we do, that are now evidence-based, available for other organizations.
Nice.
Like Save the Children, like UNICEF, like SOS Children Villages.
So it becomes open source.
It's open source, and we have the first examples where the program Team Up that we do in the Netherlands is now being implemented by other organizations in countries where we don't have staff. There's 160 million children growing up with the consequences of war.
How many? Sorry,
60 million. Yeah, I don't even know how many zeros that has. It's an incredible number. We reached 300,000.
Yeah.
So that's far too less. So we said we can keep on doing it the same way, traditionally. War Child office there, War Child office there. Or we make our programs evidence-based, available for others. And that is happening right now. Bringing it to scale, it's really going across the world now.
So besides only improving the lives of these children that you're already helping, the 300,000 that you said, with the organization itself, you're also trying to change the system with partner organizations, basically.
Yeah.
It's not really up to me to say if you're a hero or not, but what it is, you are really focusing on work that impacts and improves the lives of other people. And even, in your case, people that became a victim without having to do anything for that. So huge clap on the shoulder for you for doing this work for so long and improving people's life. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, and I really appreciate you being on the series.
Thanks for having me. It was an honor.
Hopefully speak soon, and wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.